Legend of Total War here, and today we're going to be doing a pretty different video for my channel at least, and that is a Total War Top 5 video. I'm hoping to turn this into a series, so do more Total War Top 5, related to Total War. Today I'm going to be doing the most asked question that I get, which is, what are my top 5 favorite Total War games, or what I think are the top 5 best Total War games. I've taken a bunch of things into consideration when compiling this list, and I'm sure that there is going to be quite a few people that will disagree with the order of this list, or feel like other games that which I didn't include in this list probably should deserve a spot on this list. With that being said, whatever you feel like is your favorite Total War game is absolutely fine. Don't feel like this delegitimizes any of that. This is just my personal top 5 list. You're free to make your own. Anyway, with that being said, I just want to keep this relatively short, between 5 and 10 minutes. I don't want to go on for ages. It's candid, it's not scripted. I just want to go on and talk. Anyway, let's go in with the number 5 slot. Coming in at number 5 is Total War Rome 2. Now, I've always had a bit of mixed feelings about this game. It's certainly one of the most played Total War games and definitely deserves a spot on the top 5. But why it doesn't deserve any higher, well, I'll go into a little bit of detail and explain why. Generally speaking, this game is very poorly balanced and has a history of bad bugs. In addition to having a terrible launch, this game never really reached the potential it otherwise could have, which is a bit of a shame, because this had the potential to reach, the top slot if certain things had gone a little bit differently. Unfortunately, it's taking only the top 5 slot. Personally, I've got a lot of hours clocked in this game. I think it's a good game, but my personal opinion, it is just mired by just too many bad balancing issues, and it almost requires certain mods in order to fix it, which is the case for some of the other Total War games as well. But that being said, I still think this is a really good Total War game. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's great. It still gets a lot of people playing it, and that certainly needs to be taken into account. Out of any of the historical Total War games, it has the most concurrent total players at any given time, excluding Total War Warhammer. But its reviews are not great. Now, of course, it did recently lose 10% of its positive reviews, on average, due to the recent review bombing. I'm not taking that review bomb into account. I still believe that this deserves a positive review score, and it gets the number 5 slot, which is a pretty good slot. Anyway, let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we have Total War Shogun 2, a game that can really only be described as very polished. This is one of probably is the least buggiest Total War game in existence. It has the most polish. The AI is, generally speaking, the most competent. And overall, it's an excellent Total War game. It has excellent reviews on Steam, and has still got, to this day, around, 2,000 to 3,000 concurrent players at any given time, which is pretty decent considering this is starting to get to about 8 years old. Fall of the Samurai being one of the best expansions that Total War has ever released. Overall, it's an excellent multiplayer experience, the only one that has the Avatar mode, which I think a lot of people would really like to see return in future installments of Total War, and has a reasonably crisp campaign experience. Now, my main criticism of Shogun 2 is its lack of ambition on the campaign management side of things. Most settlements are very simple to manage, having no population to manage, very little on the culture side of things, and generally speaking, it's a very static economy. Not the most static we've ever seen throughout the Total War games, but it definitely favors the battle side of things, I believe, at the cost of campaign. Diplomacy is reasonably good, but has its fallbacks. Probably has the best diplomacy out of any Total War game. So with that, it gets the 3 slot. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry, the 4 slot. Let's move on to the number 3 slot. The number 3 slot, in my opinion, has to go to Total War Warhammer 2. Or just Total War Warhammer in general. I largely think that Warhammer 1 and 2 are pretty much the same game, Warhammer 2 just being an expansion of Warhammer 1. Anyway, if you had asked me a year ago where I thought Total War Warhammer belonged in the list of top 5 or not, I probably wouldn't have put it even on the top 5. However, having played it a fair bit recently, I'm starting to really warm up to this game. The DLC that Creative Assembly are pumping into this game are proving to be some of the best, culture packs we've ever seen in a Total War game. They're really starting to introduce more campaign depth, more battle depth, and more depth in the actual characters. Overall, I think that this game still has a long way to go, and may one day take the top slot for top 5 Total War games. However, it's not there yet, but I believe that give it a little bit of time, it may actually dethrone the next two. But we'll see how we go. It largely depends on the future. Who knows what Total War Warhammer 3 will install, but I'm very hopeful for what they're doing with Total War Warhammer 2 at the moment. I think it's definitely deserves its third slot here. Currently, it actually has the most concurrent players, roughly between 10 and 17,000 people playing it at any given time, which is huge. But when it comes to the top two, I'm afraid it just doesn't quite have enough to dethrone these two. Its main failing, I think, is apart from, occasional bugs, which every Total War game has, it really lacks campaign depth. And I believe that Total War, in essence, is a 1-to-1 ratio of excellent campaign and excellent battles. And unfortunately for this game, it has excellent battles, not siege battles though, but the campaign really cries out for more in terms of a bit more on the management side of things. Not everyone will agree with that, but in my opinion, that's what's stopping it from reaching its full potential. Anyway, moving into the top 2 slot. In my opinion, the top 2 slot has to go to Rome Total War, the original. Now, this could very, very easily be argued for the actual top slot. However, I just believe it's almost neck and neck with the top 1 and top 2 slots. Now, if not for Rome Total War, I believe that Total War wouldn't even have a place in gaming at the moment. This game put Total War on the map. However, as time goes on, it does start to feel a little bit dated. Its pathfinding is terrible to say the least, but it has an excellent campaign experience, and the battles are fast-paced, enjoyable, and there is a good amount of mods to suit everyone's sensibilities, I think. It's the first game that was released on the Total War 2 engine, which is probably the most beloved engine for Total War. Unfortunately, it is a little bit outdated now, but still, it is probably, in my opinion, this is the second best Total War game ever made. Now moving into the crown winner, I believe, of the Total War franchise, the number 1 slot. Taking the number slot, in my opinion, there can be no other than Medieval 2 Total War. In my opinion, Medieval 2 Total War is the best Total War game that has ever been made, and not only that, is the best strategy game that has ever been made. So, what makes Medieval 2 so good? Now, that being, it is a little bit on the easy side of things, especially if you've played it a lot, but that's the thing. Most people who play this game play it a lot. And if you play anything enough times, you get good at it. It's not easy for everyone, that's for sure. I certainly had my struggles with it when it first came out. And the thing is, when it first came out, I didn't love it as much as I do now. So what is it that makes Medieval 2 so great? Apart from the fact that it's the most moddable Total War game that's ever been made, and has mods such as, Third Age Total War, Call of Warhammer Beginning of the End Times, Westeros Total War, which is never really finished, Stainless Steel 6.4, Broken Crescent, and you can go on. There are still mods even being made to this day. It's an 11-year-old game, and still has a really decent number of concurrent players. It is, as far as concurrent players is concerned, it is the 3rd most played Total War game at any given time, behind Warhammer 2 and Rome 2. It has the best campaign experience, the most amount of role-playing capabilities, the most flexible economy system, the most flexible battle system. You choose the way you play when it comes to Medieval 2, and that's the thing that makes this game so great. The AI is not great, not saying it is amazing, but in what Total War game is the AI really amazing, really? Overall, when people play Medieval 2, the byword for it is that it's fucking fun. Medieval 2 is the most fun Total War game, in my opinion, and so that's why it gets the crown number 1 slot. So I don't think many of you guys are surprised. I've certainly said it many times before. Medieval 2 gets the number 1 slot. Anyway, with that concludes the top 5 video. Now, what I want to do with this series, I don't really want to be doing these polished, really flashy things with lots of graphics going on in the background. They will just soak up a lot of my time, and quite frankly, I have a lot of time spent doing the disaster campaigns. So what I'd like to do is let you guys vote on what you want to be another top 5 video, and the top rated comment, that's what I'll do. Whether you want a top 5 worst Total War games, top 5 best units in a Total War game, whatever. I would ask though that please don't include multiplayer side of things, because I don't know. Okay, it's very hard for me to rate things that I don't really utilize very much, and I'm not experienced when it comes to the multiplayer side of things. So please keep it to single player related, and also keep it related to Total War. So I don't really want to see as top 5 EU4 factions, because this is purely a top 5 Total War series, and I would like to turn it into a series. So post your comments down below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Everyone's entitled to like whatever they like. So this is no sort of, now this is definitely the best game, you have to purchase it. Look, if you don't want to play Medieval 2, don't play Medieval 2. But this is, my top 5 list. But I'm curious to see what you guys want me to do in the next one. So I'll see you then, fuckers.